Hey everybody, thank you for joining us today. It's Matt from my channel. Welcome to my channel. I've got John from John's Travel and Credit here with me. John, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How about you, Matt?
Not too bad. First of all, congratulations on recently hitting 1,000 subscribers. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know the last 100 were very anxiety-inducing.
Yes.
But John is our resident, not really resident, but like John is one of the biggest Amex fans here on the platform. I think I can say fan pretty confidently.
Yes.
Given your
that would be a correct statement.
So we recently had changes to this Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I wanted to get an American Express person's reaction to it. I recently spoke with Lonnie. Lonnie and I are both Sapphire Reserve holders. Lonnie may still be able to find value. We're still waiting to see like where the value propositions are going to be for us. But looking at what Chase did, Chase is clearly taking pages from the American Express book, and I wanted to get a perspective from someone in that book. So John, what were your initial thoughts, reactions to what eventually was announced with the Sapphire Reserve?
Basically, everything that was rumored came true, right? There were a few things that did not come true, but for the most part, it was all true. And my initial thought process was Chase is taking a page, for better or for worse, out of Amex's book. Chase is the biggest bank in the US. They are looking at the success that Amex has had, and they see Amex's quarterly revenue announcements and all that, and they see the success. They see the ads that Amex is getting with the Platinum card, with the higher end cards, and Chase wants a piece of that pie, and they see that success. The sheerest form of flattery is being copied, right? So they're taking a page from Amex and they're like, hey, we want to duplicate this in our environment that Amex is having in theirs. And so my initial thought process was, it's very interesting. It's been scattered, right, Matt? You've seen it the last few days. There's been people that are like, holy crap, this is amazing. This really makes the card work for me now. There are other people that are on the fence. Then there's the people that are like, crap, this sucks. Which I think happens with every change that we've seen, right? Even on the Amex side, when the gold card changed, there was people that were good and bad, people on the fence, all the changes we've seen.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. I don't know the whole thing with, and I know Amex does the same thing, but I think the partners they picked were interesting. Your thoughts on that? Some of them are weird, and I'm in the video I did for my channel that's dropping today. Like, I'm going beyond what I want Amex to do. Like, some of the partner things are odd, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the partners they added Lyft and DoorDash are perfect complements. Or, okay, so we're not going to get an Uber contract. Like Lyft and DoorDash you could do a whole lot worse. It's not like they're picking up Waymo and GoPuff as the exclusive partners. Like they had GoPuff for a little bit.
Yeah, and they've had those for a while anyway. They've had DoorDash and Lyft as partners for a long time, so it makes sense.
Those two make sense. StubHub, I think when it comes to the StubHub one, I understand that they want an entertainment credit. I don't love StubHub as a company.
Okay.
Conversely, I don't love Live Nation and Ticketmaster. There's a reason like Ticketmaster for a long time had the nickname Ticket Bastard. Like they are not a great company either. And StubHub, not a great company in terms of you have the buying fee and selling fee. If you're not able to go to your event, you can't really flip you might be able to break even, maybe, and that's before the fees. And so that is not ideal. Now it's $300 total. It's every 6 months. It's calendar 6 months, which I appreciate that move from Chase because anniversary 6 months would just be a pain to deal with. Luckily, the only anniversary credit is the travel. So I'll take that. So
I didn't realize StubHub was every 6 months.
Yeah, StubHub and the edit are every 6 months.
Okay.
So $150 for StubHub, $250 for the edit from January to June, and then July, December.
Calendar year.
They're not terrible credits to burn. StubHub's not great, but like, what other company were they going to get? Like, SeatGeek doesn't have the money to put up for that contract. No fee, no frills, like you're just swapping tickets online company. They're not going to have the money. Like, the big thing that we never talk about with the credits is that Credits are mostly like company specific credits are funded by the company.
Yep.
Like the DoorDash credit is funded by DoorDash, the Lyft credit, the Uber credit, the Grubhub credit, Five Guys. And I think like Shake Shack just wasn't getting enough return from American Express because of how regional they are. Five Guys, far bigger footprint. So it makes sense that they swapped in. So we never talk about the fact that it's the company footing the bill.
Yep. You're right. 100% correct.
StubHub can foot that bill. Yeah. With both Amex and American Express. StubHub can foot that bill. Yep. Chase doesn't have an internal entertainment system yet, and it might behoove them to look into bringing a company in to handle that. But then that's Chase losing money on a product that lost them like $2 billion in the first 5 years of starting it. So there has been a point since the Sapphire Reserve launched that it stopped bleeding money because it was losing like $200 million a year. Or no, sorry, 5 years, $2 billion. So it was like losing $400 million a year. Chump change for Chase, but 400 million here, 400 million there. Eventually it starts to add up to real money. I love how we can talk about hundreds of millions of dollars as not real money. Anyway, it is the company footing the bill. So StubHub can foot that bill. Live Nation could fit that bill. Do you really want to pay? Do you really want to get a Ticketmaster credit? American Express is bringing their entertainment in-house, and American Express at least pulls in enough money that when they do an entertainment credit, they're going to be the ones footing the bill for it. Now, I don't know how they're going to break it down, because the one thing that I do appreciate about Chase is that the only monthly credits are DoorDash, Peloton, and Lyft. With Amex, I don't know what structure their entertainment credit's going to be. Will it be yearly? Will it be semi-annual? Will it be quarterly? I really hope it's not monthly. But at least like they're going to have that infrastructure. Chase doesn't have it, and I don't love StubHub, but who else were they going to get?
Yeah. It makes sense if you're going to try to bring value to people in the entertainment realm. If you cannot handle the bill yourself, to bring in a vendor that you can partner with and do it that way. It's not ideal, but I guess it's something. But
yeah, with Peloton, I would have loved to have seen a discount on Peloton equipment, not necessarily the $120 a year. Hey, your first piece of Peloton equipment, you'll get what's an outrageous number? 30% off instantly. Like it's a $2,000 machine. 30% off is nothing to sneeze at. That's $600.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
It's a chunk of change. So
like I would love to be able to have been like with Peloton, I would have loved to have seen like a 30% at Peloton, one purchase. I don't know, first year, because you couldn't do that every single year. There's only three major pieces of equipment. There's the bike, the treadmill, and the rower. Yeah. I would get two of them. I wouldn't necessarily get the bike. I would love to fit the treadmill into my office situation, or just at least have a treadmill to do at least 30 minutes. Anyway, that's me. So an ongoing 30% wouldn't have been useful after the third year, but you could have gotten 2 solid years out of it. That's $1,200 instead of $10 a month for the apps and everything else, because those are just discounts on the app.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Again, like beggars can't be choosers. It's not like a fitness discount or a fitness credit from Chase would have been with like Planet Fitness, or what's another really big gym all over the place. Planet Fitness or Genesis 24/7 Fitness, something like that. There also isn't like a gym company that is big enough to really cover everywhere. Planet Fitness might be the biggest. I think it's the biggest in the United States. I don't remember offhand. Snap Fitness might be there. LA Fitness might be there. But like one of those it's got a big footprint, but it doesn't cover everywhere. So I don't think they were interested in footing a $10 bill on a $40 membership.
Yeah.
We'll see. Partnerships are always a question of who can you get and who's willing to put up the money.
Yeah.
And it's going to be worse for Capital One. It's going to be worse for Citi, and it's going to be worse for Wells Fargo if they jump into coupons.
Yeah. You want to see stuff that a lot of people can use, not just a segment of the country, because a lot of the credits and whatnot, My biggest gripe with Amex is the Equinox credit. It's okay, then New York City can use it, and then screw everybody else. It's like, that's kind of a weird credit that only really a very small segment of the country can use. Sans, I guess, the app. You can use the app, I guess. But
Yeah, but relying on that for the credit, and then you have to play App Store rules, and does the credit abide by App Store rules, and
yeah,
who's picking up the 30% pay toll to Apple if it's going through the...
Yep.
So that one is... The Equinox credit's weird, but if you're not in an Equinox area, you just don't worry about it. So that's $300 you're not getting. I think the same would apply for Peloton. If you're not interested in Peloton equipment and you're not interested in the Peloton app, it's $120 that you're not getting, and it's 10 times points.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not if that, again, I talked about this yesterday, if that's the linchpin on whether or not you're getting value, that's probably not a good value prop to hang your hat on.
Now, switching gears, like the partners we know what the partners are, but looking at American Express, and American Express kind of stole thunder at the very beginning of the week and just said, hey, in 3 months, we're updating the Platinum and the Business Platinum. Now,
that was very strategic.
We knew that this was going to happen
anyway, yes.
But planting the flag the way they did, that is just classic marketing, and bravo to them for doing that. Chase's marketing should take a lesson, because they failed their rollout of the Sapphire Reserve, in my opinion, just because we knew about the changes were coming last week, and then it just kept dripping more and more, whereas Amex just planted on Monday. Platinum, Business Platinum, in the fall. See ya.
Details to come.
Now, looking at American Express, and I know you're putting out a wish list video, so this isn't like, hey, tell me about your wish list. It's more we've seen Chase turn the Sapphire Reserve from a travel card to a lifestyle card. And Lonnie and I just came to the agreement of, it's not the card that it was. It is a new card.
Yep.
Do you get the sense that American Express will take the Amex Platinum as we know it, and this was a card that doesn't necessarily serve their new young millennial Gen Z audience that is spending far more on this card than I think they should? But this is a card moving from Gen X, late millennial. It will be turning more toward catering to young millennial Gen Z. Do you think we could see as dramatic a shift in the card?
I can see that. I can see Amex adding new partners that are going to appeal to the younger crowd. I don't know exactly who. Like I said, in my video that's dropping, I basically gave my wish list for what's going to happen. I can see things easily adding to it, right? Like the Resi credit, I could easily see that being added to it. That's going to happen. Yeah. I think they're going to bolster a lot of the other credits that are already on there. I think those don't go away. I can see them definitely moving in that direction. The only thing I don't want touched is the things that work for me as far as travel with, and I don't think they will. I think that if anything, they'll bolster Delta, they'll bolster the lounge network, as they mentioned that lounges specifically, right? Three Centurions are opening this year. They mentioned that specifically. I think the Delta partnership is going to be bolstered in some way. So I think the credits that are there are going to be there and be larger. They're going to add Resi. I don't know in my mind, though, I don't know what they would add to go with a younger crowd. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm hoping it's not like a Starbucks credit or something. I think that would be ridiculous. I could see them doing that. I could see them adding a Starbucks credit just because Delta is partnered with Starbucks. On days you fly, you get double the points at Starbucks. I could potentially see that being a thing, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Interesting, given they already got Dunkin' Donuts paying $84 a year per customer on the gold card.
I don't think that would happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But then again, I wouldn't away because they've got the Dunkin' credit. They could move the Dunkin' credit to the Platinum too. So
they could add that to the Platinum. Now, how big of a Resi credit are you anticipating on the Platinum? There's only $100 on the gold.
I'm anticipating 300.
Okay. That's a pretty healthy number.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's also my wish, but I'm thinking 300.
shifting gears a little bit, staying in Amex territory, FHR and the edit credit was announced with $250 semi-annually. You do have to do a 2-night stay. I have a theory on this one, but do you see FHR potentially tacking on that second night as well?
I can see it happening. I could see Amex matching that. I've seen people say it's really crazy, and I've heard people say it's priced higher than it is if you would just book directly at the property. A lot of the times, of course, that's anecdotal. That's anecdotal stories coming in, but I could see. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually expecting it.
Okay. Because my thought process on this has been these hotels, there's a good amount of overlap between FHR and the edit. I think FHR still has more hotels overall, but I've also heard that like hotels are less enthusiastic about being in FHR. And my theory on that supposes they've been seeing the effects of min-maxers in their hotels where like midweek 200, like it's priced around $200. You're getting that midweek stay, but that person isn't coming back after the FHR treatment on a $200 stay because that was effectively free. And now the money that they're losing out on, they could be going to Amex and saying, this needs to be like tinfoil hat time. They're talking to Amex in the background, like this has to change or we're out.
Yeah.
And when Chase was setting up the edit, these same hotels presented to Chase and Chase pitched them and they said, this is all good. We have no problem with your system. Oh, and you want us to recognize status. No big deal. However, and so like when Chase presented the edit credit, they said, however, it's got to be a 2-night stay. We'll let you get your $250 on the first night, but pay us. And that is the way that they're going to get hotels. Now, if Amex is going to stick to 1 night is fine, FHR could empty out pretty quick. Not empty out, but like a lot of hotels could leave FHR and could move down to the hotel collection where at least they're guaranteeing that second night.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I think in my mind, FHR is going to get a 2-night requirement. They're going to increase the credit, but it's going to require 2 nights. I would be shocked if it stayed at 1 night.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're totally right, Matt. People think when I see comments about, oh, I'm gaming the system, getting over on them. They know exactly what you're doing. The credit card companies aren't stupid. They know exactly what is going on. They are watching videos on YouTube. They know the landscape probably better than anybody.
They've also got the data that comes in, right? The hotel owner is looking at the data and like the hotel owner is going to go, hey, this was an FHR night. We did all this stuff for this person. They've never come back.
Yeah.
Or they come back when their FHR credit comes back.
Yep.
Oh, I have no problem catering to this person once a year, but I have no expectation of this person ever coming back. And that's got to be a problem for the hotel. Yes. There are also people who do the FHR credit, fall in love with a hotel and book that hotel directly through, if it's a Hyatt, they'll book through World of Hyatt. So it doesn't go through American Express. So they don't have to talk to American Express directly about that. But FHR, I think, was supposed to get people to experience a higher end hotel and want to go and stay at these higher end hotels more and more often because they're not getting those extra benefits. They won't.
Yeah. Yep.
Or because they're not saving $200 a pop. They won't.
Yeah, 100% agree. I don't. Yeah, they are watching what the min-maxers are doing, and they have the data to back it up, and they know that a ton of people are doing that. Although I say a ton of people, we're a very tiny niche, but they see that data and they know.
A small but outspoken minority.
Yeah. Yes.
Which can be dangerous in all things.
Yep.
I think FHR, folks should be prepared for FHR to, they're going to call it a nerf, but like you contracts change and like the hotel owners and Amex abided by the contract, but the hotel owners are not happy about the contract anymore.
Yeah. And only the people that are min-maxing are the people that are going to call it a nerf. They're going to say, oh, I've got to pay some money out of pocket now.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where the hotel, if you're going to stay at a place, enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Don't if you're there purely to use a credit and to spend the least amount of money out of pocket as possible, and that's your only game, then maybe you need to be doing something else because that game's going to go away.
Oh no, I can't enjoy. Oh no, now I have to enjoy 2 nights at the JW Marriott. How awful!
I
Oh
have to
no.
say, like, just like when we were at the Roosevelt in New Orleans last year, I was there for 3 nights. It was a great experience. I didn't mind paying a little bit of money out of pocket. It was a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
How dare I have to pay for an experience like that?
Yeah, and worst comes to worst, you can always do points. I'm certain
Yep.
there's going to be points plus cash as
Oh,
well, and
oh yeah, I'm
you can
sure. Yep.
set the cash to exactly the credit, and then you get the 2 nights. Oh no, I have to spend 2 nights at the Raffles Back Bay Boston. How awful!
Yeah. Yep.
2
I
nights
see
at
that.
the Waldorf. How am I going to survive?
Man, my life sucks. I have to spend 2 nights at the Waldorf Astoria. How this is just not acceptable.
Exactly. That's a problem. There's a Days Inn right down the street. Go deal with Wyndham.
Yeah. Yep. I see 2 nights coming. Like I said, I would be shocked if it didn't. I think the credit's going to go up for sure, but I also see 2 nights minimum being implemented as well, and that's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, I think you'll either see 2 nights, and you're going to keep a good number of the hotels that you have in the FHR collection, or if Amex sticks to 1 night, you're going to see a boatload of hotels just go, hey, you know what? We'll just do the hotel collection.
Yep. Very well could.
And maybe Amex adds a hotel collection and an FHR collection onto the Platinum, just so that they're still providing value.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing I want to touch on, and this is something that RJ talks a lot about on the podcast, but the multipliers on the Platinum. Very simple. 5x on hotels in the portal, in Amex Travel, 5x on flights in Amex Travel, 5x on flights booked directly with the airlines. Given the changes that were done to the CSR, and this has never needed to be a question before, but do you think Amex would benefit from adding any other multipliers or changing their multipliers on the Platinum to make it more of a, I don't think they're going to make it an everyday card, but do you think they could possibly look at changes to the multiplier setup?
I do not see them going above 1x on everything else as a catch-all. I would love to see 1.5. I don't see it happening. I would say there's a snowball's chance in hell that happens. But I do think that the multipliers on travel categories will go up. I think hotel and flights will go up. I'm thinking what I would like to see, if they're going to make it a $9.95 card, which everybody, that's the premise I'm going off of. I don't agree that it's going to be $9.95, but
Sure.
If that's the premise that we're working with, I would love to see the flights and hotel. I'd love to see flights at least 7x, if not more, but at minimum 7x at overarching. And then I would love to see hotels. I'd love to see hotels at least 6, but also overarching direct or in the portal.
Okay.
If that'd be awesome, I would love that. But I would be okay with it being 7x flights across the board, no matter where you book, and hotels being 6x across the board, no matter how you book.
I like it. Now there is a sort of other box, another Schrodinger's type box to uncover when it comes to this potential announcement. Like, they've talked about the Amex Business Platinum and the Platinum being updated in the fall. There's always been rumor that there'd be a card between the mythos that is the Centurion card and the Platinum. Do you think we could see that card in the fall as well? And this would be a card that breaks the comma.
Potentially, Amex could pull a surprise on everybody and say, hey, here's the Platinum card refreshes, but oh yeah, also here's a brand new card. Bam. Here's what it does. Here's what it costs. It would break a comma for sure. It'd have to. I know the rumor's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
I could see them dropping it at the same time.
Yeah, because they've got so many outstanding trademarks. And I know trademarks don't automatically equal product, but like, they've got 9 credit card trademarks floating. Yep. Like, at least 2 or 3 of them are becoming products. Whether that's graphite and Catalyst. Now, I thought Catalyst would make sense as the higher end. Folks have argued that Graphite makes more sense. Whichever. There's potentially going to be that higher end card. Graphite, I guess. Platinum, Graphite. Why would you go from Platinum to Graphite and then to the I don't know. Maybe. But we could see that card because now there's potentially an ultra premium Delta card as well.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I like Graphite or not. That does seem weird. Like it, I don't know. It should be like,
because Catalyst in definition is the start of something. Catalyst is the beginning of your invite only journey with American Express.
Yep. Catalyst would be a great name.
That's the only reason why I argue Catalyst. But okay, so we may see that card potentially. And not to keep going down the Amex rabbit hole, but as an Amex customer, now I know you're not affected necessarily by the changes that have happened with Amex over time. Amex still works for you. Amex is great. There are those who were turned away by the couponing nature of Amex and may have changed to other banks. I don't really think so because Amex's bottom line keeps saying that they're making money hand over fist. But do you think, taking that into account do you think the changes that Chase did would attract anyone over from American Express? Not necessarily you, but like an American Express customer who may be tired of the Amex credits. Do you think what Chase did brings those people over or entices new people from American Express? Or do you think Chase is potentially erred with their new coupon strategy?
The irony in your question is with people that are tired of the Amex credits,
exactly,
another card with now a bunch of credits.
Yes.
So I could see it being, my answer would be multifaceted.
Sure.
I could see people that are, for whatever reason, they're fed up with Amex and maybe this one set of coupons is too hard for them to do, but the new set of coupons that Chase has rolled out, maybe it works for them. It's things that are easier for them to do, so they're okay with doing it. Now, and maybe what they're giving up with Amex isn't as big a deal as what they're gaining with Chase. So I could see people that are fed up with Amex for whatever reason doing that. I also see the reverse of that. I can see people that are like, okay, these changes on the Chase card on the Reserve suck. This is not going to work for me. And they come over to Amex.
Yeah.
I could see that happening too. It would be interesting to see what the numbers actually are if there is an exodus from Amex to Chase and vice versa.
Yeah.
I definitely think some people will. Like I said, we've seen comments across the board.
Yeah.
I could definitely see where people would be looking at the new Reserve and say, okay, this is interesting. It's going to be a coupon book, but these are things I might be able to get value from. And they could make a switch.
Yeah. I don't know necessarily how big the switches will be. I think we're talking like 0.1%.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to see. The only thing I could see would be the quarter after if Amex saw at least like a 3% swap, like folks who came over directly from the Sapphire Reserve and said, I canceled my Sapphire Reserve for my Amex Platinum. Yeah. They would report that and spike that football because they can. And I'd almost be here for it just to see how Chase may react, because that would be devastating to Chase. Even 3% doesn't sound like a large number, but 3% in terms of like users, huge.
That would be an interesting point brought up by MX's CEO at the next quarterly call.
Yeah, right? That first quarterly call after the changes.
If they had statistics on which you would think, I don't know how they would get that information, but they would be able to parse through it somehow. Maybe they go, I don't know how they would do that, but it'd be cool if they did say, hey, based on, we have these numbers and 5% or whatever it is, people cancel their CSR and now they're platinum holders now.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting I don't know if we ever would, but that'd be a pretty neat statistic to see.
The way you track that would just be like, so Amex they would notice if it's first time Amex customers, like they would record the hard polls, and the hard poll would obviously show the CSR, and then they could keep soft polling over a couple of months. And then if they see like CSR closed, right?
Yep, that's true.
Probably how they would track it from new customers. Amex is continually soft pulling your credit.
Yep.
Whether it's to offer you a new product, whether it's to see if you're like, if they want to give you like the deep dark secret of all of the no lifetime language offers that you can get, is Amex is willing to give them to you because Amex is continually pulling your credit and sees you can handle this.
Yeah. Yep.
They want to give you, hey, here's the 250,000 platinum offer privately in your business, platinum offer privately in your application, in your website. They do that because they're continually pulling your credit. So I could definitely see them being able to track how many people converted over without having to explicitly ask or without having customers disclosing it.
I would also be interested in the numbers of people that defected.
That would be strong, because does the account holder? No, they report it as closed. So yeah, they would be able to track both ends. So it'd be interesting to see if there's an appreciable number. Amex will spike the football.
Oh yeah, it'll be a win. Yeah. See, this is what happened, and then it's like basically free reign at that point with Amex's refresh.
Yep.
They won't know though until after this quarter, where the new CFR is available. Yeah. So.
And they're only going to get, so my understanding of the timeline, new applicants can get the new benefits June 23rd on the Sapphire Reserve. And then the new benefits kick in for existing cardholders in October, in late October. So that is it's like a third of Q4 is gone. So, oh yeah, no, that would be disastrous if from October 26th to December 31st, if 3% of Sapphire Reserve holders left the Sapphire Reserve for the Amex Platinum, that would be a huge number, and alarm bells would have to go off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Potential hopeful new multipliers. Moving away from Chase and American Express, do you think, while I have you, do you think there's an issuer who could step in and fill the void and just be like the down home, simple country type, here's a really easy credit and here's a travel card that's a travel card?
Man, there's maybe that have the potential.
Yep.
We keep waiting on Wells. We keep waiting on Citi. What are they going to do? Supposedly, Citi's coming with something. Supposedly, Wells has dropped off the face of the earth,
which I don't necessarily mind.
Quiet could be a good thing. That both issuers have strong cards. Have other cards are strong in their own rights. U.S. Bank is another one. U.S. Bank has amazing cards that earn. They just can't put it together. And if they would jump in the travel space and pool their points, if they would jump into travel space and they pooled their points on the different cards, U.S. Bank would launch themselves up there right away, instantly. I think it's either Citi or Wells. Either Citi or Wells has an opportunity that they are positioned to do something amazing. I think the dark horse in all of this is Bank of America. Bank of America, they understand why Bank of America just is not in this space. I think they could be a dark horse, but I think of the options that are available, Citi or Wells could grab the reins and do something great.
From the big banks, I think it does come down to Citi or Wells. I think Capital One is going to start getting too preoccupied with figuring out everything from the merger. I don't necessarily think they should walk and chew gum at the same time. I think they should focus primarily on the immediate after effects, because the next year is just going to be going through eliminating redundancy, which there's going to be a lot of customer service people left out in the cold. There's going to be a lot of people in both companies left out in the cold.
Yeah,
and Citi and Chase, I like to think that they're sitting back and waiting. I'm worried that Citi is so focused on finally landing the plane with American Airlines, that they are going to miss the rest of the field.
Yeah, agreed. They're focused on American. Yeah.
And I know 2026, like after they become the exclusive issuer, like they're going to have to take some time to reconfigure the cards, the American Airlines cards. Yep. They've gotten rid of the Rewards Plus in hopes, this is just my theory, they've gotten rid of Rewards Plus in hopes of convincing American Airlines that like, hey, there's not going to be too much gamifying of the system. I think the Citi Custom Cash may potentially be on the block in that same vein, just because the folks who can generate, or the folks who have 14, 15 custom caches and being able to generate that many points every month, I don't think American Airlines wants that sort of gamesmanship with their points because they know how valuable their points are, and they ain't moving. Then it's a question of what Strata Elite looks like, and do they even land the plane at 1-to-1? I have a feeling they're going to land the plane at 5-to-4.
Yeah.
And pointing can still be valuable, but everyone's expecting 1-to-1. I don't think we're going to get 1-to-1.
I don't think there's a way that stays 1-to-1, because if you're going to keep the value of AA miles the same, if you're going to, like I said, the people with 15,000 custom caches are, that's a gravy train that would be unprecedented. And I have a really hard time with one of them has to be devalued. And what I mean by that is the transfer ratio has to be devalued. It cannot be 1-to-1, because if it goes 1-to-1, then American has to devalue their points.
Yep. If you're a loyalist and you're a city boy, like, you have to ask yourself, how do I get the full value out of AA? Don't let it be 1-to-1.
Yep.
Don't let it be 1-to-1. I did want to throw 2 more wild cards into that who could provide a fall to the earth, for lack of a better word, travel card out there. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, but don't want to.
I'm doing a video on this. Actually, I'm getting ready to record it today.
Sure.
Bilt. I actually go through my thought process on it in this video, but the Mesa card is really good for a certain segment of people. It's the people with families. It's the people that are constantly working on their house. They're constantly doing upgrades, or constantly maybe stuff breaks a lot and they're constantly repairing things. It's made for them. They have a lot of good credits on there, but 2/3 of the credits wouldn't even be a thing for me, which doesn't bother me. But I know a lot of people complain about the Bilt card and having to make 5 banana transactions to get their rent points, and or if you're lucky enough, get mortgage points. Mesa has the same thing. Mesa has, you have to spend $1,000 a month to get anything else. So
I think Mesa does better with the $1,000 a month. I think Bilt would be better served with a minimum spend requirement.
Yes, agree with you. The thing that Bilt has that Mesa does not is transfer partners. Bilt's transfer partners are top notch. Mesa has a few good ones in my mind. A lot of them I have never even taken a look at. But Mesa just added, I think they just added what? SAS and Aeroplan, I think. So they have Cathay also. So they have some pretty decent transfer partners, but they're not many. And the only hotel partner they have is Accor. And not to besmirch Accor at all, they have nice properties. But Bilt basically has everybody. And for me, the ability to have a nice, large selection of opportunities to transfer to is what kills it for me with Bilt.
Yeah. No, I like that Bilt has all 4 hotels, all 4 of the big hotels, plus they've got Accor. United's really nice. Who else do they have?
They have JAL, Alaska.
They added JAL, they have Alaska. So JAL and Alaska is just killing it in terms of One World. One World. United's good. They also have Flying Blue. They have Aeroplan. They have a lot of the big ones. Mesa adding Aeroplan is huge. Mesa adding SAS is a really nice SkyTeam partner, because I think since SAS joined SkyTeam, they're the newest kid on the block, you might be able to get pretty good redemption value out of SAS. But yeah, I wouldn't mind SAS going to other places as well.
Yeah.
My credit card that doesn't have enough transfer partners. Yeah, I wonder which one that is. Mesa's really too young to be pushing into the travel card space. I can definitely see that argument. Bilt 2.0, which I think is potentially going to be 2 cards. I think they're going to have that low end card, and they're going to have an upper tier card.
Yep.
Going back to the survey that they offered, none of those options were good.
None of the options were great.
Yeah. The 550 card that did 1.5 on rent and mortgage was the cream of the crop, just because you were getting 1.5 on your biggest expenses. Everything else on that card was trash.
Yeah, it was very mid.
What I would like to see from Bilt if Bilt were to get into the we're just a simple we're just a simple urban credit card that wants to make people feel happy, would be like that come in at that 550 number, have a really strong just travel credit.
Yep.
Oh, here's the Chase travel credit, but with Bilt, as widespread as Bilt, but we're not going to give you as many travel categories to multiply on because MasterCard. So bring that in. And then TSA pre-check, global entry, Blade lounges for those who can afford Blade lounge, for those who can live the Blade life, all like 21 people, and priority pass, all of that, all in New York, like 3 people in Nice, because there's also a Blade flight between Nice and Monaco. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, you're stupid rich. Okay, cool. $300 travel credit. It's $250 left over, and then find $120 rideshare credit with Lyft, and then I don't know, something easy.
So every month they tout wellness and fitness, make it a all things wellness or health.
Oh, just a general fitness category. General fitness, like $250, any gym you want.
Yep.
Not Bilt gym, not Bilt specific gyms. We'll give you extra points if you go to Barry's, if you go to Rumble Boxing, if you go to the 8 other places that we have strong partnerships with. But you want to go to Planet Fitness, here's an extra $250.
Yep, you get in 3X dining or whatever. I forget what it was on that 550 card now.
Yeah, I think it was 3X dining and 2X. I want to say it was 2X travel.
Yeah, I agree.
3X travel, 1.5X home and mortgage, rent and mortgage, $300 travel credit, $550. That card would go gangbusters.
It's the urban city metropolitan area living card. Because they've gotten to the point where restaurants are everywhere now, right? There's Bilt restaurants everywhere.
Pretty much.
So
network did a lot of good for them overall.
Yes.
Killed the point printing, but whatever.
Then the question though is, does it remain viable overseas where it's still no FTF? Because like it is now, it's a no FTF card, but which is rare for a no annual fee MasterCard.
Bilt card and the Apple card, I think, are the only ones that really spring to mind that are MasterCard specific.
Yep. So I have to wait and see. I'm really curious to see what Bilt 2.0 becomes and what it just released it already. It's been several months since the survey now. I think maybe they roll it out in the fall, maybe.
I could see that. Here's the thing though, when it comes to Bilt, part of why I stopped talking about Bilt here on the channel is I need Bilt to focus on having better than crap customer service.
Yeah.
Until Bilt fixes their customer service, it really doesn't matter what unicorns they put on the card. If people have an issue with the card and they can't contact the company and get clear answers from Bilt or Wells, it's not worth it.
A lot of companies have that problem, but customer service needs to be fixed. Luckily, I've not had any issues with them. I know there are people that have had major problems. Of course, everything's anecdotal, right? But the stories I hear, it's come on, Bill, really? You can do better than that.
Anecdata is not usually data until it hits some sort of critical mass, and Bilt hit that critical mass way too long ago and still hasn't properly fixed it. And I don't trust Bilt, a large language model, to be customer service. Humans.
I would love to see Lonnie do another interview with that. Who was his name? Bill? Was his name Bill?
Richard Kerr.
Richard Kerr, yeah.
Yeah, he keeps meaning to reach out, but I think he's waiting for 2.0.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the announcement of the Discover customer service team being released from their contracts with Capital One, and then Bilt strategically just hiring all of those people. That would be good.
That would definitely bolster them substantially.
But overall, John, the CSR announcements were about what you expected. As a Amex person, I know you said that nothing here would make you change, obviously, but did you feel the same sort of schadenfreud's not the right word, but there's a word that sort of, there's been people who are like very happy to see Chase go into coupon world because Chase people can't laugh at Amex people about coupon world.
Yeah.
How did you approach that?
I did notice it, and I had that same thought myself, to be 100% honest. The first thing that popped in my head was, Chase fans, welcome to the coupon club. It was not to be mean or anything like that. Just, oh, hey, you all have said this about Amex, and now you're in the same game we are. It's been a really interesting last few days to see people's reactions to it. Like I said, a lot of people have said, oh, this is great. A lot of people said, this sucks, I'm leaving, or whatever. We've seen the gambit of responses. We knew it was coming anyway, though. Chase had to go down this route if they were going to do anything with bolstering the card.
I'll concede it just because companies don't like to make bad bets.
And they're going off of the success that Amex has had.
Yes.
That's what they're basing this on, is we see the numbers that Amex puts up. Their growth continues to be high every month or every quarter. And we want a piece of this pie. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to copy them.
Yeah.
And for better or for worse, now how that affects the loyal Chase people, I'm sure it's a mixture. It's like some people hate it. Some people love it. Some people are on the fence. Some people are wait and see. It just is what it is. So I do think it's very interesting now that, that it's probably going to be a little bit less finger pointing at Amex in the whole, you guys have to do a whole bunch of coupons. You're in the same club now.
Yeah. We were already living the coupon lifestyle, because if there were people saying that, oh, Amex said people have coupon, what was DoorDash?
DoorDash, yep.
The writing was on the wall. I'm still waiting for an Instacart credit. I think that's still owed to us, but we'll see. No, John, I've taken a ton of your time. Any closing thoughts here before I let you go?
It's just interesting times, man. It's going to be an interesting rest of the year to see what the fallout is from Chase's revamp of the CSR. The same thing from Amex. It's going to be really interesting to see how Amex punches back and what they launch in the fall this year, which is ironically only a short few months away because time keeps flying by. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do. It's going to be interesting to see what comes of the Chase business cards, the revamps of those, the Sapphire Preferred. It's going to be interesting to see what Amex does with the business Platinum, the Delta Reserve, the Delta Ultra Reserve, or whatever it's going to be called, that comes out. Supposedly it's rumored. Just going to be interesting. 2025 is going to be rocking, man. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got the Sapphire Preferred still to be refreshed. I think the Ink Preferred is going to get a new fresh coat of paint as the Sapphire Preferred for Business. I think we're going to see potentially some Freedom refreshes. I don't know when or what. You could see the no annual fee Sapphire card come back with a new coat of paint and some interesting changes there. It'd be interesting to have a no annual fee card from Chase that does transfer partners as a way to apologize for the Sapphire Reserve. Not that an apology is necessary. We still got the Amex Green card that could get refreshed. We've got the Business Green that desperately needs a refresh.
Yes.
Because that card is trash upon trash.
Yes.
Trash squared. 1x everything, 2x in the portal for a business card. No, guys. Do better.
We'll wake up one Thursday morning this year and say, oh, the green card's different.
Why is it neon all of a sudden? We still got the Centurion, so it's fine.
Neon Centurion.
There you go. John, where can folks find your channel?
They can find me on YouTube at John's Credit and Travel.
Definitely, folks should go give him a follow over there. A lot of Amex stuff, a lot of some Chase, some Citi stuff thrown in there as well. John's got really thoughtful pieces that he puts out, and he'll talk about his travel excursions, which are far more frequent than mine. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Take care.